So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all sure it's all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like like the theater. I've imagined your family.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I see that.
We're not sluts.
We just love love. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Angela.
And this is Bradford and his stomach gurgling.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear it, and it's loud.
I don't think it's going to be audible.
Oh.
No.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Rabble, rabble, rabble.
Well, welcome back for another week of By the By.
Yes.
Yes, if we sound a bit echoey and whatnot, well, we are because we're in this big cavernous room in Adelaide.
Adelaide.
So it's a little echoey and things.
It's actually very echoey.
Yeah.
Now that I'm paying attention to it. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
We are here at the Playford
Yes.
in Adelaide. Came down for a big, sexy party.
Yes, we went to the Rabbit Hole for their rainbow party.
Yes.
And,
Before we jump into that, though, we've got some stuff that's coming up.
yes,
We have in July the 18th,
July 19th.
19th. I don't know what days are.
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. Friday, July 19th is the next pendulum party at Our Secret Spot.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to
Pretty
that.
stoked for that. Then the next Club V.
August 16th.
There you
Also
go.
a Friday.
Well, yes, that's a very good point.
So Fridays are the days to be out and about, apparently.
You betcha.
Yeah.
And then in November, the 2nd through the 9th, we will once again be at Desire and Swing Set, part of the Swing Set Takes Desire group, doing some of our little workshops and talks and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's going to be good times.
It's going to be here before we know it.
It will be here before we
Yes.
know it. It's not many days away.
And I think there are, 20-something, maybe 30 rooms left. So if you out there in podcast land are thinking about joining the Life on the Swing Set takeover at Desire, you should probably act on it before too long,
Yes.
because it will sell out, and I am so looking forward to that week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Less than 11 million seconds.
Oh, that's, I would say very precise, but it's a very big number, so it's not very precise.
It's very precise. I can tell you
suppose.
exactly. 10,745,000 seconds left.
That's not exact, because it says 416, 15, 14.
Yeah, because it's counting down.
Yeah.
I was rounding around. People at home don't want to know that. And anyway, this is until we leave, not until the
Oh, okay, right.
party starts. So that's until vacation. Woohoo!
Yes, yes. Yeah, but coming up here, and it's going to go by quickly, and lots of fun times. I'm really looking forward to it all.
Yes. Our Patreon supporters will get their discount code for Pendulum Party coming out this week. So
Cool, so look forward to that.
keep your ears peeled.
Ears, eyes.
Emails. Keep your emails
Okay.
peeled. Look, I'm all shagged out after a long squawk. Very tired. Still.
It's been a shaggy weekend.
It's been a shaggy weekend. I have, yes, once again, much like last weekend, my tongue is sore.
And you're not the only one, because somebody else last night mentioned that theirs was sore in the exact same way.
Yes, and so I'm not a freak, or I may be, but I'm not alone.
So then we decided that we need to develop some tongue exercises for you people.
I've been doing tongue exercises. That's why it's all sore. So we came down to Adelaide to go to the Rabbit Hole and their rainbow party. Let's talk a bit about the venue.
Oh, the venue's amazing. So the venue is
Built for purpose.
yes. Well, it's a house that is definitely built for purpose, and I find it interesting because, and I said this to somebody last night, and they were a little surprised, but for all of the houses that we've been in here in Australia, this is the most American style house that I've seen.
Yes.
Now, I realize that it's also a newer place, and a lot of new houses around Australia are probably in the same style, but I just haven't been in any, so it was kind of surprising walking into it. It was a bit surreal because of that.
Yeah, you're like, wait, I feel like I may have gone back to the U.S.
Yeah. But it's actually a really lovely place. So you walk in, and directly to the left is the check-in area. And I liked that because there was the check-in desk, and somebody greeted you at the door. There was somebody behind the desk. But then opposite it, in this little hallway area, there was a cabinet, and they had a violet wand and a bunch of accessories, kind of a nice little violet wand kit displayed in the cabinet. There were books like the Life on the Swing Set one.
The Sex at Dawn, I think,
Sex
was
at
in
Dawn
there.
was in there. So there were a number of books around non-monogamy and swinging, and it was
almost like a little museum kind of thing.
Yeah, and just kind of showing you what's out there if you didn't already know. And so I thought that was a really interesting way to display things and to show people kind of what's out and about in the community.
Yes.
Some resources and whatnot. Then you continued on through that to, I guess, what was the garage area that is now turned into a locker room.
Well, they had, but in that little museum area, there was a really big reception desk.
Yeah.
And so I think that is such a great...
It's very welcoming.
It was a great use of that space because it was big. It wasn't just like this little alcove. So many places we've gone to in the past, it's basically this little tiny alcove. This desk was huge.
You're right. It was very big, and it was very welcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went through to the lockers.
Yes.
And the locker room was really lovely.
It was big.
Yeah.
It was big.
Yeah, everything in this place is big. We'll just flat out say that.
Because it's an American-style house.
Yeah. But it was a big locker room. There was... Basically, the lockers were all around the outside, and in the central area, there was kind of like a double bench kind of thing.
Yes.
Like a big ottoman-y type thing, really big, so that you can kind of sit on it if you need
People are
it.
going to get tired of us saying big.
I know. But so you could sit on it, you could use it to get dressed, you could set things down on it as well if you needed to. What I also really liked is that along the back wall, so the lockers were on the left and on the right-hand side, and along the back wall, as you walk in, there were a lot of little coat hooks, and they were in theme with the venue because it is Rabbit Hole, kind of Alice in Wonderland theme, but there were a lot of coat hooks, and I really liked that because you could hang your coat there. You don't have to stuff it into the locker because the lockers were little cubicles. They weren't big lockers, but at the same time, if you came in what you were basically wearing all night long, you could just hang your coat up and you didn't have to take a locker. So I liked that.
Yeah, it was a very nice touch.
Yeah.
And again, it makes the place look busy when you first walk in to see all these coats hanging on the wall. Because each one, represents a person. So it's kind of neat to have that as a visual as you're getting ready or dropping your bags off or whatever, to have that sort of visual reminder that this place is already full.
True. Yeah. So we went out after that, and we joined in a tour group. There were a few other new people who hadn't been before. So we joined their tour around the venue.
Yep.
And so basically as you walk in, so that was all to the left, the little reception area and the locker rooms. To the right there was kind of a lounge area. So there were a couple of lounges in that room and 2 massage tables. And there was a TV up above that.
Giant TV.
Yeah, so there was a big TV up on the wall in front of the massage tables. And then as you continued on around the main floor, there was a little bathroom, like a little half bath.
Mm-hmm.
And then you walked into, I'm going to say, the back area of the downstairs floor, and it was a kitchen, like what a normal kitchen would be like, that was then open to the whole big lounge area.
What would have been
basically.
a dining room and family kind of
room. Yeah. But the kitchen was open to all of that, and so there's a fridge for drinks. Of course, mixers and water, sodas are provided. There were plastic cups around, so you could basically just serve yourself. And across from the kitchen area, there was a big pool table in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a good little social area. And then behind that, still pretty open to it all, there was a big lounge area with lounges kind of all around the perimeter of that, and then an elevated stage and a pole in the middle of that room.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the pool table area, then the lounge / pole area behind it, And then there were still some more kind of lounges and seatings around in what would have been like a breakfast nook kind of area.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And it was really open, really inviting. There was music playing, but it was at a reasonable volume that you could still talk.
Yes.
And still have conversation. So it was loud enough to catch your attention and to be there if there wasn't any conversation, but at the same time you could still very much converse with people and you weren't having to yell or strain to hear too much.
Good music choices as well.
Yeah,
It was less ravey, more pop, hip-hop kind of stuff. It was good. Stuff.
I thought of it more as songs that you might sing along to.
Yeah, that's
as
a good way
opposed
to put it.
to just dance music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Yeah, yeah. It's a different style of music, but
Yeah.
I did quite like it. It was
I did as well.
really lovely. And as the night went on and more people went upstairs to play, the music did get a bit louder downstairs.
Yes.
But it was kind of proportionate to people and movement and flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we went upstairs on the tour.
Yes.
And it's a bit of a spiral staircase going up, maybe half spiral going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you get to the top of the stairs, it basically opens into this big room that I'm going to assume would have been like a family room type
In the States,
thing.
we would have called it a great room.
Yeah, but it's this big room that had 2 king-sized beds in it, side by side, lots of floor space around it. In an alcove kind of behind the stairs, there was a swing, which, spoiler alert, we made use of. We'll talk about that.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Shocker.
So there was a swing back there. There was the 2 king-size beds. In the corner of that room, there was another really low mattress on the floor that people could kind of
Yep.
play on, cuddle on, whatnot. What I really liked about this space, and really all of the rooms had this as well, is the doors had been taken off of the wardrobes, and so the shelves were open, and that's where towels were, sheets were, so you could change the sheets if you wanted to. There was water with some glasses, so if you didn't, if you
a
wanted...
big box of water.
Yeah, a big box of water. So if you wanted refreshment, you didn't have to go all the way back downstairs again just for a little bit of water. There were some nightstands, shelving all around, places to put drinks because you could take drinks upstairs. So places to set things. It was very well appointed. There were
Yes.
wipes, condoms, lube, all the basics. And so yeah, off of that great room then, there were 2 rooms that had closed doors, so you could close the doors to them. And there was another room that had kind of like tinsel-y stuff. I don't really know what you call it.
It was like an
but
old style beaded curtain, but without beads. It was just
it was more
like
ribbons.
ribbon curtain kind
Yeah.
of thing.
So that was in between, and that was to denote a place where you can play and have people watch you, but again, they're not supposed to enter without permission.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a visual barrier of you can watch, but don't come in and join. So they had the 2 private rooms where the doors closed. They did have the curtained off room, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Then as you went on down, I feel like there was another room. Was there, or was there
There was
not?
a bath and a sink room, and then a toilet room, like a water
Yes,
closet.
that was on the stair side.
Yes.
But then on the right-hand side, there was there another actual room with
No.
the bathroom, or just the bathroom?
No, just the bathroom.
Okay, so there was a big bathroom with a jacuzzi tub.
That was part of the ensuite.
Yes. Okay. And then that room, so the big ensuite room, the bigger bedroom at the back end, had been made into a dungeon. So they have a St. Andrew's cross there. They have a dungeon bed there with stocks on the end. They've got a spanking bench.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a pole in the middle, like a tie-down pole, I would say. I don't know what you call it.
A bondage chair.
Yes, there was a bondage chair. So there's a bunch of different pieces of equipment in that room, and that room was the only room that was kind of darker. It felt more dungeon-like.
Agreed.
The other rooms were all a little bit brighter, more open, warm, inviting kind of feel to them.
Yep.
Even if they had dimmed lights, and I did notice that all the lights were on dimmers in the bedrooms. So you could turn the lights up if you wanted to, or down a bit if you wanted
I
to.
noticed that as well, because at one
Yeah.
point when we were just standing around talking to some folks, I looked over my shoulder and one of the bedrooms had their lights on like wide, and I was like, nope, and I turned it back down because there's nobody in there.
Yeah, but I do think that's interesting that whatever level of lighting you prefer, you can actually adjust
Yeah.
that. Which
true.
is, I don't know how many people actually do. My guess is probably not many, but at least the option's there if you want to.
I would.
Yeah, I would. But yeah, so basically the rest of the playrooms and spaces were more lit. They were more open. They were, I would have just said, warmer, more inviting because of the coloring. Everything was a bit lighter in color. It wasn't dark. The dungeon was the only room that really had that darkness to it.
I agree. And it was a nice touch because the light in the ensuite of the dungeon was a red light.
Yes.
And so it sort of filtered into this dark room. And then also one thing we did forget to say was in the dungeon room, they took the master closet.
I hadn't gotten to that yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
They had taken the master closet and turned it into a cuddle zone. Mm-hmm. So again, you had a room with ribbons that prevented you from just like barging in there, and you couldn't close the door. But it was meant for cuddling and no sex. So
and
aftercare
yeah.
for any kind of BDSM play, and then just a spot where there's no sex.
Yeah, and if you get inundated and kind of overwhelmed with everything that's going on, that's a good kind of private space to go and to be away from things. And again, it's no sex, it's just cuddles. And there were, I don't know if they were actually mattresses on the floor, but there were blankets and pillows, mattresses, yeah. So it was just this kind of nice fluffy area to have that cuddle zone there.
I liked it.
I did too. I really like that touch. Yeah. That's really all the spaces, though. And then out the back, so downstairs, out the back, there was a really big patio with some chairs and tables and things outdoors that I'm going to guess in the summertime will be a nice place to spend some time. And that's the smoking area.
Yeah.
So that was all out the back.
Yeah. And it was really well done. You know, I know it's winter in Adelaide, but never did I smell smoke.
Mm-mm. No. Also, another thing is that upstairs, and this I noticed on the tour, and I was curious to see if it would change throughout the night, and it didn't. There was no music upstairs.
Right.
So the only music was downstairs. Now the
only music was the percussion of bodies slapping once again against one another.
And it was interesting because I thought, is that going to be distracting or bother me later because we're so used to having music around? And actually, it didn't. I didn't even notice it.
I will say, I don't think there's music playing upstairs at OSS. I think it's that we can hear it filter upstairs.
From downstairs?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. That could be it.
I don't think there's actually music that plays at OSS upstairs.
I'm going to have to pay attention now.
Lawrence, answer our questions.
But it was like once people got up there and you didn't even notice because it was just the sounds of people playing, of sex, of pleasure. There was a lot of the dungeon got a lot of play.
Boy, did it!
So there were a lot of sounds coming from there that was really fantastic. So yeah, didn't even really notice the lack of music at all.
No.
Yeah.
No, I really like that.
Yeah.
It's the facility. So it's the second built-for-purpose house that we've ever been to a party in.
Right.
That was a kind of a club feel. This is, of all of my locations that I've been to, this is my favorite place to go. Agreed.
It was really, really fantastic. Very well set up. Very well appointed. There were a lot of little details. Artwork on the walls, the shelves, places to put things. Even there alongside the dungeon bed, there were 2 long shelves the whole length of the wall that you can put things and set things onto. And just some of the little touches like that really show that they've put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, there was a great deal of thought was put into this location.
Yeah. So venue-wise, I love it.
And it was polished as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the artwork alone. And apparently, so there's this big, beautiful line drawing above the 2 king-size beds in the great room at the top of the stairs. Beautiful line drawing of 2 people. It sort of blurs together. It's very impressionistic, and it's apparently was done by someone named Paris. It was signed PAIR_us, which I think is a great turn of phrase or a great play on words, whatever. And she was apparently there, but we never got to.
Oh, I don't know who that was. Yeah. They had a lot of different types of artwork around the place, and it was all in theme of kind of the sexy, nude, kind of more swinger mentality. But then you also had some that were sexy Alice in Wonderland types of things,
or very kink related.
Yeah, and very
heavy kink.
Yeah, it was a lovely mixture of artwork, and it was just it was really interesting to see that, and then to talk to them and hear some of the stories as to where some of the artwork came from and who did it.
Yes,
it was also it most of it I would say had meaning, or there was something behind where it came from or who did it. Yeah.
So if we had to pick out negatives, for the location, I would say one negative which didn't affect us would be parking. In order to park, you have to park across the street, around the corner, somewhere I think it's a shopping center that, of course, it's not open late at night. So, that's not a bad thing, I don't think. But I can see where if it was torrentially downpouring, it could be a bad thing.
Right.
We were dropped off at the front door by our lovely Uber driver. So it was a non-issue for
Right,
us.
exactly.
The only other thing I can think of, and it ends up being, I feel like I'm being very American in this attitude, is the way they do the drinks is you bring your drink in, you label it yourself, you write your name on it, and then you pour it.
Yeah.
Being very American, I'm always afraid that somebody's going to take my drinks.
So interestingly, though, the house in Raleigh does the same thing.
Oh,
You're
I
in
don't
charge of
remember that.
you're in charge of your own
Okay.
drink, basically. So it all goes into like a tub or cooler or whatever, and then so it's the same thing there.
Okay.
That's not unheard of.
Well, there you go.
It's not what we're used to
No,
here.
yeah,
in
because I'm always
Australia,
afraid people are
but,
going to
yeah.
people want to drink my drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep your hands off my drink.
You're drinking that good.
It's,
So I will say two other negatives that I would pick out is one, lack of showers.
yeah. We'll get to the need, why you need a shower later on in the story. But yes, you do need showers.
Yeah, because I think there was only one in maybe the jacuzzi bathroom, because the other bathroom had a tub in it.
But I don't remember it having a shower.
I
Yeah.
didn't look at that bathroom that closely, so I don't know. So there really weren't a lot of showers to rinse off afterwards and playing. And somebody even commented, one of the people that we played with, as they were leaving, they joked about the fact that you've left a swingers party when the Uber driver rolls the window down when you get in. And you haven't showered.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is, I would say that's a bit of a negative. So, but I mean, they have wipes and things all over the place. But
Yes.
still, yeah, and there are bathtubs, and I did do kind of little, I'm going to say like just a little splash bath and
Yeah.
cleaned up a bit afterwards and things. But it's not a full shower to kind of really rinse off well and whatnot. And then there was one other negative. What was the other one I was thinking?
I don't have any other negatives really. And I was really going in last
Yeah.
night. I was really much like, okay, I know I like the space, having seen it
Mm-hmm.
before, but I want to be hard on it. I want to really find the flaws, and I had trouble finding.
I feel
the
like there
flaws.
was something else.
I will say where the locker room is
Yeah.
is
Oh.
a converted garage.
Yeah.
It looks great. It's carpeted floor. It looks, again, very polished, but most garages don't have insulation.
Yeah.
So it was fucking cold.
It was freezing, especially late at night.
And when you're dressing
Yeah.
down or dressing at the end of the night, dressing back up, it's brisk.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not enough to make you like, I don't like this, but it is noticeably cold.
It is very much of okay, let's get dressed, get our shit, and get out of here.
Yeah.
So, because it was cold. And
Which ends up being nice, because I think one of the things often at OSS is people tend to congregate in
Yeah.
the dressing room, the locker room, because it's a quiet place where we can go and just chit chat, and we're like
True.
trading stories and whatnot.
Yeah, and really the locker room's not where you should be congregating.
No.
I did remember the other negative I was thinking about, which is not something we experienced, but talking to somebody who'd been there before, they were saying the closed bedrooms, they had 6 people in one of the closed bedrooms, and I noticed that there were little fans on the nightstands. And I was like, oh, that's a nice touch, because sometimes, when you're in the mid-play, it does get warm.
Yes.
And so I commented on the fact that they had little fans, and this person said that they had 6 people in one of the closed rooms. The door was closed, and they said it got so hot and so sweltering just from the body heat and that type of thing. So the fans are a good touch, and I think that's definitely something that's very much needed in there.
Yeah.
We didn't experience that because we didn't go into a closed room. But if so, that's something to be aware of as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and a couple of other things about just operationally to note is, like we mentioned, drinks are allowed upstairs, and they did have
I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I will say, there's two sides to this. Lawrence, drinks can be allowed upstairs if and only if you have a place to put those drinks. Because upstairs at the Rabbit Hole, they had that closet with
yeah.
no...
And shelves everywhere.
And there were shelves everywhere.
Yeah.
So and little tables and whatnot. I will say, I set my drink down at one point and I lost it.
Yeah.
It disappeared.
Yeah. So the other thing is, if you're going upstairs, it depends on if you're going to just kind of watch and be voyeur. You might want to have a drink in hand. If you're going up to play, you probably have already finished your drink, because you're not
Yes.
going to be focused on that.
I also saw somebody spill half of a wine cooler kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So, look, do you want ants? Because that's how we're going to get ants. So,
Thank you, Archer.
you're welcome. But it is one of those things that I like the ability to take your drinks upstairs. But I also get why you might say, look, don't take your drinks upstairs. It's because no matter how old you are, most of us can't be responsible.
Yeah, it is going to make mess. There are going to be spills.
Accidents happen.
And at some point, somebody does have to go and collect all the leftover glasses that are left upstairs. So
Yeah.
there is that. You know, the glasses, bottles, whatever, anything that's left up there, somebody does have to clean up and collect. Because I would say probably half the people don't take them back downstairs. with them.
Agreed.
So yeah, and then the other thing I would say operationally that I noticed was because it is more of a private party, the time that you arrive is between 8:30 and 10 p.m. And so nobody else is allowed in after 10 p.m. And so basically they say that before 10 o'clock, you need to, like, there's no play downstairs. All the
Right.
play is upstairs. After 10 o'clock, there can be sexual play downstairs as well. So you can play in the lounge areas, you can play on the massage tables, all of that. I don't think I really saw much, but we were upstairs during a lot of that time.
We do know a couple was giving each other massages on the massage tables. I'm assuming they were nude massages.
Probably, I would assume, yeah. And so I did think that was interesting that basically after 10 p.m., once everybody's in, then you can be naked and play downstairs, and that's completely fine.
Yeah. And the last thing I would talk about operationally is at, I think, 11, they had 4 pizzas delivered, 4.5 pizzas delivered. Giant fucking pizzas.
Yes.
Like, Lawrence would have been thrilled. But, you know, and that's great. They just bring these pizzas out, and then they're free for everybody.
And what I actually liked about that, it's the little things that I noticed about, like, they delivered the pizzas, opened them up, and then they wrote on the inside of the lid what kind it was.
Yeah.
So there's no guessing as to what kind of pizza is this. Oh, what toppings are on here? Am I going to like it or whatever? It was written on there exactly what it was. And they did have one small gluten-free vegetarian pizza.
Yeah.
So they're, you know...
They're thinking
Yeah.
about everybody.
Yeah.
Loved it. So all in all, the facility, the venue, and the way they run it, I honestly, I would give it a strong, like 92.5%, 93%
Yeah.
out of 100.
I was going to go 9 out of 10, but...
There you go. See, 9 out of 10. I round down to 9 out of 10. Yeah, it really is. It's such a great venue, and I very, very much look forward to coming back to Radelaide and coming to another party.
Yeah,
another
absolutely.
rainbow party.
Yeah.
So let's take a quick break here, and then we will tell the story of last night. Not talking about the venue, talking about all the naughty things we did.
Sure.
I'm Jace.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Dedeker.
And with our powers combined,
We are the Multi-Amory Podcast. If you're happy with the same old ways of dating,
If you enjoy sucking at communication,
and you have no desire to improve your romantic life, then our podcast might not be for you.
but if you want some out-of-the-box ideas to deepen your current relationships,
broaden your sexual horizons,
develop a better understanding of yourself,
or learn more about non-monogamy,
Then come check out the Multi-Amory Podcast on the Swingset Network at swingset.fm, the Swingset FM Android app, or at multiamory.com.
Okie dokie. So what happened? How did the story go? We got dressed at the hotel. It's rainbow party, so the theme was an alphabet soup. The LGBTQIA plus community. Everybody was involved. It was invited and involved. So, but the theme itself was rainbow. So
Yes.
you were meant to wear bright colors or something rainbowy. So I had my rainbow striped socks, my black leather pants, I have a trunks and a sleeveless shirt that's a really tight woven rainbow pattern, and then I put black leather suspenders on, my velvet purple blazer, and then my leather jacket over top of that, and a collar.
Yes.
So I was very much on brand.
Yes. I had my blue latex dress because I don't have any, I'm going to say, over top clothing that's really rainbow at this
Right.
point. So I apparently need to work on that in my wardrobe. But I wore my blue latex dress, and I had some rainbow little kind of jewel types of things on my face. So brought some color in there. And what I had done was I have a rainbow kind of brightly colored one-piece type of thing for dress down that I had taken with me. And originally, I'd gotten that for Desire later this year. And so this was a nice trial run for that to see how it wore, how it felt, how easy it was to get on and off, that kind of thing. So yeah, it worked out perfectly to give that a run. So I took that for dress down. So that was my kind of rainbow multicolored was that.
It was very pretty. It fits you better than I expected it to.
I agree.
Yeah, it makes you look busty as fuck, and then like your nipples are trying to pop out. It was great.
Yeah, I think one popped out at some point.
It's fucking amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, so that was, I was not quite as rainbow as you were, but yeah. But we'll work on my wardrobe. That's okay. There's always room for improvement, right? Everybody has room for improvement.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it was very funny. So we get there and we went with another couple. And as a side note, we did have a bit of afternoon delight with that couple, which was very nice. And
it was an afternoon delight.
Yeah, it's like, let's plan this. So we went out for breakfast. We went out shopping for shoes for me. And then we all went to the spa here in the hotel. And then we all came back here and did very naughty things.
Naughty
things. So we went with them to the club. Got there 8:30. Wanted to be early. And
on time. It was actually 8:34 when we walked up.
I know, the doors opened at 8:30. Yeah. And what I love is they've got a doorbell, but me being me and not really thinking about it, I just opened the door, and the lady who greeted us at the door, she was like, hello, and all friendly and bubbly.
Yeah.
And I said, well, hi. You know, she's like, "He's just your first time?" Yes. She's like, "What's your name?" So it's like, "I'm Bradford." She points at you, she goes, "And you're Angela." Angela goes, "Yes, I am." So they were waiting for us. They were ready. We talked to her for a few minutes. We went in, talked to the fellow behind the desk for a few minutes, the reception kind of desk for a few minutes. And then we went and immediately dropped off all of our stuff.
Yeah, they were so positive and welcoming, just really happy people, and I like that.
It's still that really fresh club feel, you know, so everybody's really happy, and they're like, it was early in the night, they're still happy because they're just starting doing parties, and
they were happy later.
That's true.
That didn't go away.
They're just really, they're very similar to us in that they're very upbeat, which I really like that. So we left there. We did, like we said earlier, get on the tour, go through the tour of the house with one of the proprietors, and who is an amazing woman. We got back downstairs, got a drink, and then started mingling with folks. And it was one of those things that it was amazing how easy it was talking to people.
Yes.
And we've talked about before how I get very stressed out at pendulum parties because I want everybody to have fun. I want everybody to feel safe and have a good time. Well, it wasn't my responsibility at this party. So it's like immediately my walls are down. I'm chatting with people. I'm having fun. They're passing out Jell-O shots. They had like 5 trillion Jell-O shots. It was great.
Yeah. And actually, I will say, I don't know. I think I heard her say at some point that the Jell-O shots were 20%.
Yes.
But however they were done, sometimes you get them and they taste very alcohol-y.
Yes.
And these didn't.
No.
These went down
These were
easy.
dangerous.
They tasted delicious. They were really good Jell-O shots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And they were beautiful. It was a full rainbow. Check them out on Facebook or Twitter. They had posted pictures. It's great.
I think they posted a picture on Friday of all the Jell-O shots that were ready. Yeah.
So, we stood around and we found our friends that we'd come with and talked with them. And they were talking with a lady for a while, and we chatted there for a few minutes. And then we just sort of started walking around talking to folks. We talked to a triad for a bit who were lovely.
I liked them a lot. Yeah.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
He had the lovely little cat eye makeup, eyeliner.
And one of the ladies had on, she was wearing, basically her outfit was ribbons.
Yes.
And so it was just completely tied and wrapped around her, and it was just all ribbons. It was amazing. And the other one had on a sequin rainbow dress.
Yes.
Like, I really enjoy talking to all three of them.
Yeah, they were fun to talk to, and very interesting. Like, I would be interested in playing with you. I was hoping
we had a chance. Good chance we didn't.
Yeah, I think we should have just.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. It's just like that FOMO, but also the awesomeness that we were already a part
I know.
of.
Yeah,
We needed another night.
We'll get back to them, but I really
We
enjoyed
needed
them.
another
Yeah.
night. So yeah, we stood around, chatted with folks for a little while. It's always funny to me. I love it, but it's always funny to me when people know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such an odd thing to come to Adelaide and have people walk up and go, oh, I listened to the podcast, or, oh, I know you, or, oh, we saw you at Sexpo. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's just still, I always feel like I'm not special.
Everybody's special in their own way.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers. But it was funny because a lady walked up to us and was chatting with us, having listened to the podcast. It was great to talk to people who listen to the podcast and people who are so positive and like,
Yeah.
woohoo.
And the folks from Switch SA were there.
Yep.
So, and it was funny because they were also pretty early. And shortly after we had gotten drinks and were settling in, I saw them sitting over kind of where the pole area is, in
Yes.
that lounge area. And I kept looking at her and I was like, she looks so
Me too.
familiar.
Like-
But I couldn't really put two and two together. And I kept thinking, should we go talk to them? But we couldn't quite get away from where we were
Right.
to go talk to them. And much later, or I'd say much later, probably an hour later, we found out that they were the Switch SA people. We had
Somebody introduced us to them.
yeah, and we had met them a year ago, September, so almost 2 years ago now,
Yeah.
when we were down here for Sexpo. So it's been a long time, and I just couldn't remember where I knew that face from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we chatted with them for a little while later on. and
Awesome people.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was great.
And it's so great to, again, build that community out so that the next time we're in Adelaide, you can reach out to folks and say,
Yeah.
hey, do you want to get together?
Yeah.
So yeah, we chatted with them for a while. We were standing in the kitchen and again, just like in a normal house.
Yeah.
The kitchen was sort of that hub of activity.
The kitchen, the pool table area. Yeah. Because there were some folks playing pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you're standing around drinking, and I was trying to be very good about drinking a lot of water, but then I also didn't really think about it that I had like 6 Jell-O shots, but still I was drinking a lot of water, a little bit of wine, and we were standing there, and then we saw another set of friends of ours come in, and we met them at Passion in Paradise 2 years ago, and they walked in, and she walked right by me. And so I grabbed her forearm, and I could tell immediately when she was like, who's grabbing somebody's already accosting me, and I just got here. And she turns and looks at me, and I think I could have gone 1, 2, 3. And then her face lit up. It was like a full 3 count before it was very much one of those, you don't belong here. How do I know you?
Yeah.
And then she basically pounced on me and gave me a big hug and cuddle. And behind her was another couple that we met at Passion in Paradise, who are from Sydney, who
Yes.
we've played with and very much like.
So when that was happening for you, I was a little bit away from you. There were a few people, I think, in between us. And the female from the Sydney couple had come up behind me as they were kind of passing into the kitchen area. And she just kind of very lightly drug her hand across my ass. Just a nice little pet. It wasn't a grope. It wasn't a grab. And I was, what went through my mind was there was a moment of, okay, so somebody's interested, feeling
Somebody's
whatever.
molesting me.
It wasn't quite molesting, but they were touching me. And so it was like, okay, I'm going to see who this is and then decide how I want to react. And I turned around, not expecting anybody that I knew by any means. I thought it would be some random stranger. And I turned around and I saw her. And I think she could have counted to 3 for me.
That's so cute.
Because it was one of those, I know you, I recognize you, but you're out of place. Wait a minute.
You're not supposed to be
Yeah.
here.
And so, it was one of those like, oh, hey. And then we started hugging and whatever.
It was
But
so
yeah.
exciting to see them. I really like both couples. They're so much fun to just chat with, and they're funny, and they're
And I had no idea that any
Great
of the 4
humans.
were going to be there.
yeah.
So,
And I knew that both sets were going to be there because over Kick.
okay.
So
yeah.
it was funny. It was very funny.
Small world.
It really is.
Yeah.
But so they dropped their stuff off, and it was their first time as well to the club. So they kept trying. The lady who had met us at the door kept trying to give them a tour, but they kept talking to us and we were talking to them, and it is.
And finally, I didn't realize that she was waiting to give them a tour until you said something about it. And so then one of them was trying to get a drink and whatever. And I was like, no, go on the tour first, then come back and get settled.
Yeah.
Like, let's let this lady get back to her job.
She was just sort of the poor little lady was just like. You could see she was excited, but like she was okay with it. She wasn't like angry, but it was just sort of. I was like, we got to get this. Got to get the show on the road. So they went off and did their thing, and at that point, I think you and I split up again. I don't know who you were talking to, but I started talking to the three folks from before, the two ladies and the lady in ribbon and the fella and the two ladies. I started talking to them. And we were talking about tattoos, and it was just this funny moment where at one point he grabs my arm, and I don't even remember why. I don't remember the whole setup, but basically he licked the tattoo.
Oh, the serotonin?
Yeah, the serotonin tattoo. And then both the ladies seemed kind of shocked. And I looked at him and I said, that was great, but you didn't have consent for that. And his face, just like the look of horror. Because he was very much like not the kind of person that would do that.
Right.
Without, look, I would have given, and I told him, I was like, I would have happily given consent. But he grabbed both my hands. He was like, I'm so sorry.
I would give consent to him to do a lot of
Yeah,
things.
he was, Anyway. So, yeah, it was good fun talking with them. We, then I guess the two friends the two couples, one from Sydney, one from here in Adelaide, came back and we chatted with them and had a few more drinks. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything.
There were a few other people we chatted with kind of around throughout.
Everybody was so it was nice to chat to.
Yeah, and I felt like it was really fluid. And like you said, we did tend to, I'm going to say the greater we tended to congregate around the kitchen area, also because there's a counter to put drinks and things like that. But there were a few times that I became aware of the fact that we were in the kitchen, a bit in the walkway, because that's where people are going to get drinks and whatnot. And so I would be like, okay, let's move out of the kitchen. And we would move to kind of more the lounge room area or the pool table area. And inevitably, as a group, we would all drift back towards the kitchen again.
Because somebody goes to get a drink, and then somebody else is like, well, I'm going to get a drink. And then next thing you know, three of us have drinks, and 2 people or 3 people don't have drinks. So, yeah, that's
And it wasn't just us. There were other people in groups like that, too.
But nobody was complaining about it. Nobody was like, everybody's like, all right, cool, you do you.
Yeah, no.
So, when they locked the doors, they had us come up, and they had a raffle draw for, I think, their next party that they're having. And so we drew the raffle ticket, which was nice. That was fun. It is always nice to be made to feel special. And I did. And I like being special. So then it was like, all right, what are we going to do now? It's 11 o'clock. And
actually, no, it was not 11 o'clock.
It was 10. Yeah, you're right.
It was 10 when they did the draw.
And then we had a conversation with the Switch people, and then suddenly Angela goes, I think it's time to dress down. I feel like I'm going to dress down. I'm going to dress down. And I looked at my watch, and it was 10:27. Like fucking clockwork. You can almost set your watch to you going, I need to get out of these clothes. I'm wearing too many clothes. So we went.
It's my internal clock.
You changed out of your latex dress and into your cute little...
The multicolored
onesie number thing. And then I dropped the pants, so I had my shorts and sleeveless shirt that were matching. I kept my socks on because I thought they looked great and everybody was commenting on them. And I had them pulled up to my knees, rainbows. And then I had my little insulin pump carrier that's the unicorn belt. Which everybody tended to like that as well. It's so great to not feel weird to have an insulin pump. But anyway.
Isn't it amazing how something small like that can make a big difference?
It's really funny.
And not only does it make a difference in the fact that you're wearing the pump then for several more hours that night when otherwise you would have it off. But it's also a talking point and people love it.
And I did have a couple of people like pat it, and they were like, what is this? I was like, it's my insulin pump. They're like, oh my God, I hope I didn't kill you. They didn't. So, we ended up a few hours later, I guess, probably 11:30, we started making our way upstairs. And you and I immediately went to the swing.
Yes.
Because something we'll be able to talk about in the not too distant future is hopefully this next weekend we'll have a new bed delivered. That's it's a purpose-built bed for bondage and sex.
Yes.
So trust us, we'll have plenty of pictures. We'll probably do a full YouTube video review once we get it installed, and it'll be free for everybody. But yeah, it's
So we wanted to check out the swing because part of our new bed is we're going to want a swing to go on it.
a spot for a swing.
Yeah, and so we wanted to try out this swing, see what we thought, because we've both used swings before, but again, just kind of seeing what do we want in one and how do we like this one and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And hell, swings are fun. Come on.
Oh,
yeah.
Foof. So yeah, I threw Angela in there, and
I will say that it was really nice though that one of the things, of course, that room, that was that big open playroom kind of area at the top of the stairs, so there were lots of towels and sheets and things, but there was already a rolled up towel sitting in the swing.
Yeah.
So I think that is a good visual cue that you should put a towel down to use it.
Yeah.
And again, it's not much, but it's just enough to say, hey, let's keep things clean and protect the equipment.
yeah.
And because you could easily get on there without it, that's fine, but to me it doesn't matter if there's a towel or not, but if it keeps it clean and keeps it better for everybody else, then yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So
put you in the swing, and then I got down underneath you and proceeded to go down on you for a while, which I found greatly enjoyable. My only problem was I was hearing all these wonderful sounds behind me.
I know.
And you were watching, and I could tell you were enjoying what was going on, but at the same time, you were also paying attention to what was going on behind me. And so, yeah, it was one of those. I think I went down on you for maybe 10 minutes, and then it was like, all right, we have to get out of here. So got up, moved around, and the other two couples, the ones from Sydney, ones from Adelaide, were already on the bed playing.
Yes.
And so you and I stood with somebody else and watched. Oh, I know. It was the Sydney fella and the Adelaide couple were on the bed, and then the Sydney lady was with us. And so we were talking about, she was bent over giving both guys blowjobs, and but she was bent over, and we were looking at her ass, and we couldn't see her ass perfectly because it had this nice sheer dress on. So I just walked up slowly while one of the guys had his hand on her back, and then just folded it up so we could see the pretty underwear that she was wearing.
Yeah.
And then took a nice step back, and then we were all happy again.
Absolutely.
And so watched that for a little while, and then Sydney lady dove in, and then you dove in, and then I dove in. That's basically how it went.
yeah.
And
So it ended up being the six of us on the one side of that bed area there, and there was another couple on the other side as
Yes.
well, and there were some people on the floor mattress
Yes.
and other rooms and things. Of course, there was definitely play going on upstairs all around at that point. But yeah, we dove in, the six of us, kind of all together, and that was one of those wonderful play sessions that it was probably an hour and a half or so.
it felt
I
like
think.
forever. It was great.
We were up there for quite a while, but it was one of those very fluid play sessions where you go from person to person. Sometimes one of us takes a step back and you just sit and watch for a bit. Sometimes two people would sit back and just kind of watch and cuddle and feel each other and see what was going on. Then you would dive right back in, and there was a lot of movement of people from one to the other to the other. Female, female, male, male, female, male, didn't matter,
Yeah.
just anything. And that's the play sessions that we really like.
Yeah.
That's what's so much fun. And someone later commented, they said, "Oh, we saw you upstairs in a tangle of people." And you know what? I love that way
Yeah.
of describing
Yeah.
it, because a tangle of people is exactly what it was.
Absolutely.
But it's the best kind of tangle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oof. I one of the ladies I had not played with a lot, or actually I don't think at all, and I pounced
Yeah.
on her, and I had to fight to get there, but I pounced on her, and it's always funny when you kiss somebody a couple of times and then immediately you go down on them. There was no I love that kind of rapport that you have with people. So I was going down on her, and she was one of those women that basically squirts every, I don't know, minute and a half, and I think I went down on her for 20 minutes. But yeah, you could feel like,
Don't worry, we use towels.
oh yeah, yes we did. Having my fingers in her and just feeling her muscles contract,
Yeah.
trying to push my fingers out, and I was like, nope, I'm holding on to that G spot. It was great.
Yeah.
And she was so funny because she'd be like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm ah! And then it's like she just squirted all over me. And then we kind of moved around a bit, and she went down on me for a little while, and then I was like, actually, what I really want is for you just to sit on my face. And she was like, okay. And so she sat on my face, and it would start running down my neck.
When she squirted?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had it like in my ears. I had her come running down my neck,
You have
all
like
over my
a
chest.
necklace of...
I got a pearl necklace
Yeah.
from a lady. It was great. I'm all getting all aroused right now too. And it was so much fun. It was just so fun. And then her partner came over and was like, well, I want to get in on this action, and basically put his cock in my mouth. And I was like,
Because in the
"Woof."
meantime, I had been playing with him on the other side.
Well, I saw him fucking you for a while, and I was
Yeah.
like, when I was going down on her during our switch, and then she was on top of me, and I couldn't see anything. And it was great. Someone went down on me for a while. I'm pretty sure it was one of the other ladies. I know at one point you did, because I know how you feel. It was so much fun though, and it was just great. And so we all played like that for quite a while, and then did our break and went downstairs and got waters, and then came back upstairs and just started chit-chatting.
So what happened was during that break time, so we played for a while, like I said, probably a good hour and a half or so, and then we went downstairs to refill drinks, get some water, just kind of take a break and step back and see what else was going on around the place. At that point, I wandered around looking for that triad. Because
Yes.
I wanted to see if they were still there. I wanted to try to engage them in
me
play.
too.
And so I went all around downstairs, and I went all around upstairs and didn't see them.
No, I think they'd left.
So they either left or they were hiding really well. Because admittedly, the only place I did not go was the ensuite bathroom. So my guess
Or the
is
cuddle room. I didn't look in the cuddle room.
I don't recall if I did or not. Yeah. So my guess is they may have already left by that point, because it was, I think, 1:30 or so
Yeah.
at that time.
No, it was 1 because the place
1?
closed at 2.
Okay, so it was around 1. And so, I did kind of a once around to see if they were still there, because if they were, just because I was very interested in seeing if they wanted to play and engaging them in more, if they were willing to, but we got very quickly sidetracked by the other 4 folks. And
Not a bad thing.
No, absolutely not. Not a bad thing at all, by all means. But it was one of those, I'm going to see if they're still here. And so did a wander, couldn't find them. And so we ended up back upstairs kind of talking with the other 4 still, who were now at that point watching other people who were on the bed and playing around and just, seeing what was going on. And we realized they closed at 2, so we had 1 more hour if we wanted to do any more play. And so
in a very un-Bradford-like move, I was like, all right, let's do some more play.
Yeah, and the Adelaide lady, she and I were looking at one of the rooms with the ribbon curtains, and it was completely empty. Nobody was in there, and we were commenting that we had a little bit of time together, but not a lot, because you monopolized her for a while. And so we were just kind of, it was one of those little flirty things. It was like, it'd be nice to cuddle, or it'd be nice to whatever. And it's like, let's go in there. That room's empty. So we start moving in there. And then, of course, all the rest of you follow. And so then we basically have a miniature, very quick repeat of what had happened before.
Yes. I realized that I had not yet gone down on the Sydney lady. So I was like, I need time with you. So I took time with her. And it was amazing. That was 4.
Yeah.
I had 4 pussies in my mouth in one day.
Yeah.
It was great.
And in an oddity for me, so I played with the 2 guys, and I played a little bit with the females, but it was more kissing and breast play and that kind of thing. I did finger the Sydney lady a bit, but I didn't go down on either of the ladies.
Oh, I thought you had.
They were very monopolized by
I'm sorry.
someone.
I'm sorry.
Someone else in this room.
Look, Angela, bisexuality is not 50-50.
It is
and
not.
It's a moving target sometimes.
Yes.
And right now, my target was pussy.
Yes.
Like-
Well, my target was cock, so.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And I can feel that I'm going to start, I'm coming over the crest of pussy and moving back to the dick. But I'll come back, pussy. I'll always come back.
Yes. So yeah, it was really interesting though, because these are both people that normally I would
Yes.
be interested in going down on it and playing with a bit more, but just situationally it didn't happen, and that was completely fine because I very much enjoyed the play that I had.
Yeah.
But interestingly, though, they both went down on me. I had a lot of action down there.
You did. You were.
I think everybody
yeah.
went down on me at some point or another.
I think all
Yeah.
5 of us went down on you,
Which I was
at
very
some
happy
point
for.
that night. I heard you were rolling orgasms at one point.
It was one of those times that I just let go and didn't worry so much about what I'm doing for other people. But if
Yeah.
someone was going down on me, I just let go and was like, okay, I'm just going to enjoy this. And if there was something nearby I could play with, then great. And if not, happy for that too.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I ended up fucking you for a while.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things I was like, I could come, but I'm not going to yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 15 minutes before the place shut down, I was like, I came back to you and I was like, okay, I'm going to fuck you and then I'm going to come now. And then everybody was like, ooh, we want to watch that. And so I ended up coming on your back and
Yeah.
licking it off, which I think most people enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, then we went back downstairs and said our goodbyes and talked to the couple or the 2 of the 3 that are running the place.
Yeah. I had some lovely interactions in the locker room too, just chatting with people as
Just
we were getting
randoms.
dressed.
Yeah,
and-
it was great. Having conversations about, us becoming Australians.
Places around Adelaide we need to check out next time we come.
Yeah, it was such a great community
Yeah.
kind of event, and really, really enjoyable. On a scale of 1 to 10, again, I think I would give the party a 10. It was so much fun. It is the people who were there were people who were in some form of cross-dressing, to bisexual folks, to the queer community, to the transgender community. Everyone was represented there, and it was so cool to have that.
Yeah.
And everybody was really nice and friendly.
Yeah, we had all good interactions. I don't think we had any negative interactions while we were there.
No, not at all. The only negative interaction I had was when I asked them what time it closed, and they said 2. And I was like, oh my God, we only have an hour more to fuck.
Yeah.
And they laughed at me. I mean, it was a positive laugh, but I was like,
Right.
oh no. And so I want to talk to you. We'll be back.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we came back and talked to them and got our clothes and came back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then then walked to McDonald's. Bad
Yeah.
decision, Bear. Hindley Street in Adelaide
Oh, my
is
God.
the scariest place on earth at 3 a.m., 2:30, 3 a.m. In that, everybody was wasted, drunk, and nobody was over 25.
Yeah. So many wasted young people.
Yeah, it was kind of
many wasted young
hilarious.
people, yeah.
It was actually very hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we went to McDonald's, got
It
ourselves...
was one of those things. We should have had the foresight to go to the grocery and get some snacks beforehand.
Because we always come home hungry.
We always come home hungry. Of course, at home we have snacks and crackers or something we can nibble on. And we had not had a big dinner because we just weren't super hungry before we left. And so, yeah, we should have had the foresight to just get some snacks and bring them to the hotel. But we didn't. So we walked up Hindley Street to the McDonald's. Oh my goodness, it was,
It was frightening.
It was
Yeah.
entertaining in a very sad way. And I know it happens anywhere that you have a young population, a lot of nightclubs and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was, makes me really glad that I'm not 20-something-year-old.
Oh my God, yes. It makes me really glad that I'm 40-something-year-old Bradford who goes to swingers clubs and fucks people like monkeys.
Yeah.
And I'm not 20-something basically begging people to wet my dick.
Oh my gosh, and it was, as we were walking down the road, we only had to go, 2 blocks to the McDonald's?
Yes.
But as we were walking down the road, you would see girls that were still trying to pick guys up outside of these places.
Girls that were like the 2 guys in front of us, and the girls was like, hey fellas, and was like, what?
Yeah. Like, come on. And then when we were waiting for the food at McDonald's, there were a couple of girls talking behind me. And one of them was like, well, I almost had a chance with this guy, but he had a girlfriend. And I was like, oh my God. I'm just, so glad. So glad we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, me too. So, all in all,
Oh, fantastic night.
yeah.
Yeah. Great venue, great night. Yeah, had a lot of fun. Really look forward to coming back.
Yeah, me too.
And maybe connecting a bit more with some of the folks we met there.
Yeah, I made a few friends on Facebook so that we
Yeah.
could keep in contact with folks. Yeah,
Cool.
we'd like to definitely talk to some of these peoples again.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have questions, comments, rude remarks, or want to know more about the rabbit hole, send us a message. We always like to get emails from folks.
Yes,
we are the atomsoflove@gmail.com. I was just looking up to figure out the website for the rabbit hole. There it is. It is. They're on Facebook, Rabbit Hole Parties. So if you want to find them on Facebook, it's the Rabbit Hole Parties. Yeah, it's.
Yep, and you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at By the By Podcast. You can find us on Patreon, so www.patreon.com/bythebuypodcast. We very much appreciate all the support. It allows us to keep this coming to you and getting all the good information and sexy stories.
Yes.
And if you are interested in any sex toys, geeky sex toys, you can go to www.geekysextoys.com. And if you input the coupon code BYTHEBUY, you will get 5% off. We did see that they have some new Spider-Man stuff.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Coming wherever a spider can. Yeah, so definitely check them out. This wonderful people. They're always coming out with new, sexy, geeky toys, and we love them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just to reiterate, if you're in Adelaide, the rabbitholeparties.com. That's their website.
Yep.
So
check them out.
Check them out. Go support them. They're wonderful human beings. Tell them By the By sent you, and they'll give you a big hug.
And you'll have a great time.
And you will have a great time. Let us know if you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, is that it?
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
That's all I have to say.
Yep. All right. Bye.
Hi, I'm Mr. Pent, co-host of Life on the Swing Set, and you're listening to a Swing Set Network podcast on swingset.fm.